Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. A gold bar that has been recast 65,000 times plus. This is some interesting news. Now, most of us in this community are probably aware that the Perth Mint does do for a show a casting of a gold bar, very big gold bar. It's actually about 14 pounds. And for those who have been there, it's quite an interesting thing to watch. I would love to visit Perth, Western Australia someday and see it for myself. But it is quite exciting indeed. But this article from Bloomberg talks about it and discusses a little bit about sales and the like. And so we're going to explore this article thanks to Silver Honda. The Perth Mint has recast this bar more than 65,000 times in 2018 and sold about $13.3 billion in pure gold, silver, and platinum. So for 7 times a day, the Perth Mint hosts a public gold pour at its downtown location in the Western Australia city. A 14-pound gold bar is melted at 1,945 degrees Fahrenheit in a crucible made of clay and graphite. The liquid is then poured into a cast iron mold where it hardens into a bar in about 90 seconds and needs an additional 15 seconds from the time it's placed in a quenching tank filled with tap water until the bar is cool to the touch, Chief Executive Officer Richard Hayes says. And here is an image of that pour, and wow, very fascinating just to see an image of it. And it was captured being poured in this cast iron mold there. Very fascinating indeed. The same gold bar has been melted and cast more than 65,000 times since the Mint opened its doors to visitors in 1993, Hayes said. In that time, it has been worth as little as $51,000 in 1999 to as much as $390,000 in 2011. The same gold. Pretty interesting, isn't it? That's wild. At a price of $1,310 an ounce on February the 14th, the bar was worth more than $267,000. Just kind of goes to show you at where we were in the history of this pouring of this gold. You know, for $51,000 at a low to $390,000 in 2011, and we're well far closer to this higher number now, and the markets are pretty stable. This is not an anomaly for gold by any stretch, and it is much closer to that $390,000 level. To me, that says a lot. At the end of each day, it's stored in one of the Mint's vaults. And there is an example of other gold that is displayed there. Fascinating indeed from the Perth Mint. And the Perth Mint itself is opened in 1899 in the wake of a gold rush in the Western Australian region. It's the second largest producer of gold after China, Australia is as a nation, and the Perth Mint refines about 90% of the country's production at a separate secured facility outside of the city center. It mints coins and bars from both Australian gold and metal sourced from other countries, representing about 13% of global production, Hayes says. So quite fascinating indeed. The Mint opened in 1899 after the discovery of rich mineral deposits caused a gold rush in the region. Owned by the government of Western Australia since 1970, the Mint sold about $18.9 billion in pure gold, silver, and platinum bullion bars and coins in 2018. And there is, look inside the facility. Wow, look at all that gold. Amazing indeed, for sure. And it's got one of the oldest client metal vaults in Perth Mint's network of central bank grade storage facilities there in Perth. Look at all that silver as well. For more details on the supply and demand of gold, there is a terminal where you can check about the details of precious metals there, but very fascinating indeed. The picture is just Can you imagine walking in there to those crates and attempting to just lift a couple of those bars? It'd be quite heavy for sure. Look at the size of these silver bars there. Fascinating indeed. But there you have it. Very interesting article, and fascinating how it is definitely stored and poured, and how this one bar has maintained its viability and reconstituted every single day. 14-pound gold bar for show there. Fascinating indeed. So, have you ever seen a gold pour live of this for Perth Mint? I know other people have seen it that have visited the Perth Mint, but I want to know if any of you know anybody that has seen a gold bar pour at the Perth Mint. That would be fascinating to hear. Post your thoughts below. Would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, comment, and subscribe.